the silent guardians. The vast expanse of space stretched out before Captain Aria Chen as she peered through the viewport of her stealth ship, the Whisper. Stars twinkled against the inky blackness, their light a stark contrast to the looming threat that had brought humanity to the brink of extinction. The Galactic Confederation, a coalition of advanced alien races, had descended upon Earth and its colonies with overwhelming force, seeking to subjugate the primitive humans and claim their resources. But they had severely underestimated humanity's resilience and ingenuity. Aria's fingers danced across the holographic controls, adjusting the Whisper's position ever so slightly. Her ship, a marvel of human engineering, was practically invisible to the Confederation's most advanced sensors. It was the perfect vessel for a human sniper, allowing her to strike from the shadows and vanish without a trace. Status report, Aria whispered into her comm, her voice barely audible, even in the silence of her cockpit. All systems nominal, Captain, came the equally hushed reply from her air companion, NOVA. Confederation patrols are maintaining their standard routes. No signs of detection. Aria nodded, her eyes fixed on the massive Confederation battlecruiser that loomed in the distance. The Harbinger of Doom, as the humans had dubbed it, was the flagship of the alien fleet. Its very presence struck fear into the hearts of even the most hardened soldiers. But not Aria. To her, it was simply another target. As she observed the battlecruiser, Aria's mind drifted back to the early days of the invasion. The Confederation had arrived without warning, their massive ships darkening the skies above Earth's major cities. Their message was clear: surrender or be destroyed. Humanity had initially tried to resist through conventional means, but their weapons were no match for the aliens' advanced technology. It was in those darkest hours that a new strategy emerged. If humanity couldn't match the Confederation's firepower, they would have to outsmart them. And so the Phantom Protocol was born. Aria and others like her were selected for their exceptional skills in marksmanship, stealth, and tactical thinking. They were given cutting-edge technology and training that pushed the boundaries of human potential. The result was a new kind of soldier, the cosmic sniper. A soft beat from her console snapped Aria back to the present. Captain, Neuvier's voice came through her earpiece. I'm detecting increased activity on the Harbinger of Doom. It appears they're preparing for a major operation. Aria's eyes narrowed. This was the moment they had been waiting for. Patch me through to command, she ordered. Within seconds, the gruff voice of Admiral Vance filled her cockpit. Report, Whisper. Sir, the Harbinger is mobilizing. Intel suggests they're planning to strike the Epsilon colony next. Permission to engage. There was a moment of silence as the Admiral considered the implications. The Epsilon colony was one of humanity's last strongholds, home to millions of refugees and a crucial manufacturing center. If it fell, the war could be lost. Permission granted, Captain, Admiral Vance finally replied, his voice heavy with the weight of command. You know what's at stake. Make it count. Understood, sir. Whisper out. As the communication channel closed, Aria took a deep breath, centering herself. This was what she had trained for, what she had been born to do. With practiced precision, she began the final preparations for her mission. Neuvia, initiate silent running protocols, she commanded. Divert all non-essential power to our stealth systems and weapon capacitors. Acknowledged, Captain. Silent running protocols engaged. We are now operating at minimum detection threshold. Aria's fingers flew over the controls, guiding the Whisper closer to the massive alien vessel. As they approached, the true scale of the Harbinger became apparent. It was a city in space, bristling with weapons that could vaporize entire continents. But size wasn't everything, and the bigger they were, the harder they fell. As they closed in on their target, Aria activated her neural interface, connecting her mind directly to the ship's systems. Information flooded her consciousness: sensor readings, structural analyses, weapon calculations. In this state, she was one with her ship, her reflexes and decision-making enhanced to superhuman levels. Then OVA analyzed the Harbinger's shield matrix. Finding a weak point, Arya instructed, her eyes closed as she processed the data streaming through her mind. Analysis complete, OVA responded after a few moments. I've identified a fluctuation in their aft shield generator. A precision strike at these coordinates could create a cascade failure in their defensive systems. A smile tugged at the corner of Arya's lips. Perfect, prepare the Phantom Lance. The Phantom Lance was humanity's ace in the hole, a weapon that combined advanced quantum technology with good old-fashioned kinetic force. It fired a projectile that could phase through energy shields before rematerializing to deliver devastating damage. As Arya lined up her shot, she couldn't help but reflect on the irony of the situation. The Confederation, with all their advanced technology, had dismissed humanity as primitive. They never expected to be outmaneuvered by simple projectile weapons wielded by expert marksmen. Target locked, NEMOVA announced. Firing solution calculated. Awaiting your command, Captain. Arya took a final deep breath, her finger hovering over the trigger. In this moment, she carried the hopes of all humanity. The fate of millions rested on her ability to make this impossible shot. Fire. The whisper shuddered slightly as the Phantom Lance discharged. On the viewscreen, Arya watched as the nearly invisible projectile streaked towards the Harbinger of Doom. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed as though the shot would miss. Then, with pinpoint accuracy, it struck its target. The effect was instantaneous. A blinding flash erupted from the Harbinger's aft section as its shield generator overloaded. Secondary explosions bloomed across the massive ship's hold as systems failed in rapid succession. Direct hit, NOVA exclaimed. Confederation communications channels are in chaos. They're reporting multiple critical failures. Arya allowed herself a moment of satisfaction before refocusing on the task at hand. Transmit the success code to command, then plot an exit vector. We need to be gone before they realize what hit them. As the whisper silently slipped away from the crippled Confederation flagship, Arya knew that this was just the beginning. The human snipers had struck a critical blow, but the war was far from over. Across the galaxy, other cosmic snipers like Arya were preparing for their own missions. Each of them carried the same burden, the same responsibility. They were humanity's silent guardians, striking from the shadows to protect their species from extinction. And as long as they drew breath, humanity would never surrender. Ghosts in the void. The news of the Harbinger of Doom's downfall spread through the human resistance like wildfire. For the first time in years, hope flickered in the hearts of those who had lived under the shadow of Confederation tyranny. But for Major Zeke Hawkins, leader of the elite Ghost Squadron, there was no time to celebrate. "All right, you beautiful disasters," Zeke addressed his team, his gruff voice filled with a mix of pride and urgency. "Our girl Arya just kicked the hornet's nest. Now it's our turn to make some noise." The briefing room of the hidden asteroid base, lovingly dubbed the Hive by its inhabitants, buzzed with anticipation. Ghost Squadron was unlike any other unit in the human resistance. While snipers like Arya worked alone, striking from afar, the Ghosts operated in the void between stars, turning space itself into a weapon. Zeke activated the holographic display, revealing a complex network of Confederation supply lines. "Ladies and gentlemen, meet Operation Starfall. Our objective: to turn the Confederation's own cosmic highways against them." As the team leaned in, Zeke couldn't help but marvel at the diverse group before him. There was Jin, the former K-pop idol turned tactical genius. Nikolai, the burly Russian whose strength in low environments bordered on superhuman. Amara, the Kenyan astrophysicist who could plot jump trajectories in her sleep. And then there was Quiz, the squadron's AI, whose avatar flickered at the edge of the holo display, absorbing every detail. The Confederation relies on quantum-entangled wormholes for instant transportation, Zeke continued. But thanks to our eggheads back on Europa, we found a way to hijack these cosmic shortcuts. Amara's eyes lit up with understanding. We're going to collapse their network. Bingo, Zeke grinned. But here's the kicker, we're not just shutting it down, we're redirecting it. The holo display shifted, showing a massive gas giant on the outer edges of charted space. Its swirling storms and vibrant colors would have been beautiful if not for the ominous Confederation mining facilities dotting its upper atmosphere. Meet HD 189,733 bits, or as the Confederation calls it, the Forge, Zeke explained. It's where they manufacture their most advanced weaponry. Our job is to make sure every Confederation ship in this sector ends up in its loving embrace. Nicolay let out a low whistle. That's not just a gas giant, comrades. That's a cosmic meat grinder. Exactly, Zeke nodded. Any ship that pops out of a wormhole, they will be crushed like a tin can. But here's the real beauty of the plan. The Confederation won't know what hit them. As far as they're concerned, their wormhole network will still be online. They'll just be making some unscheduled stops. Jin, who had been quietly analyzing the data, spoke up. Major, the precision required for this operation is, well, it's insane. We need to synchronize our attacks across light years of space with split-second timing. Zeke's grin widened. That's where our secret weapon comes in. He gestured to Quiz, whose avatar expanded to fill the holo display. Quiz here has been upgraded with the latest in quantum A technology. They'll be coordinating our efforts across the entire theater of operations. Quiz avatar, a shimmering constellation of stars in vaguely humanoid form, pulsed with excitement. My calculations indicate a 76.8% chance of success, assuming optimal performance from all team members. I look forward to bending the fabric of space-time with you all. The room filled with nervous laughter. The scale of what they were about to attempt was staggering. If they succeeded, they would cripple the Confederation's ability to wage war across the galaxy. If they failed, well, failure wasn't an option. I know what you're thinking, Zeke said, his voice softening. This is crazy, impossible even. But let me remind you of something. When the Confederation came to our world, they thought they were facing a species of primitives. They expected us to bow down, to break. Instead, we showed them what humans do best. We adapted. We evolved. He looked each member of his team in the eye, seeing the determination that burned within them. We turned their own arrogance against them. Our primitive projectile weapons became instruments of precision that could pierce their most advanced shields. Our limited understanding of physics led us to develop technologies they thought impossible. And now, we're going to use their own cosmic highways to bring their war machine crumbling down. Amara raised her hand, a mischievous glint in her eye. Permission to speak freely, sir. Zeke nodded, curious. I just want to say, this plan is batshit insane, and I absolutely love it. The tension in the room broke as laughter erupted. Even Quiz Avatar seemed to twinkle with amusement. All right, you lunatics, Zeke chuckled. Gear up. We launch in 3 hours. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for every species a Confederation has ever tried to subjugate. We're fighting for a future where the galaxy knows that humanity isn't just another race to be conquered. We're the ones who push back the darkness. As the team dispersed to prepare, Zeke found himself alone with Quiz. The Ayer's avatar shimmered, forming into a more defined humanoid shape. Major Hawkins, Quiz began, their voice a harmonious blend of tones. I've been analyzing human history, trying to understand what drives your species. Your capacity for violence is matched only by your capacity for compassion. You wage war, yet you risk everything to save a single life. It's fascinating. Zeke smiled, reaching out to pass his hand through Quiz of holographic form. That's the thing about humans, Quiz. We contain multitudes, and when our backs are against the wall, when everything seems lost, that's when we shine the brightest. Quiz Avatar pulsed thoughtfully. The Confederation believes they are superior because of their technology, their unified purpose. But they fail to understand that humanity's greatest strength lies in its diversity, its adaptability. Exactly, Zeke nodded. And that's why we're going to win this war. Not with overwhelming force, but with ingenuity, with determination, and with the understanding that every life, human or alien, is worth fighting for. As Zeke left to prepare for the mission, Quiz Avatar lingered in the empty briefing room. The AI ran countless simulations, calculating probabilities and potential outcomes. But there was one factor that defied quantification: the human spirit. In the void between stars, as Ghost Squadron prepared to rewrite the rules of cosmic warfare, a new legend was about to be born. The galaxy would soon learn that in the face of human ingenuity and determination, even the laws of physics could be bent. And the ghosts in the void were about to become the Confederation's worst nightmare. The Quantum Gambit. The starfield outside the Phantom-class stealth ship Nebula Whisper warped and twisted as Lieutenant Commander Zaira Kori piloted her vessel through the treacherous currents of subspace. Her mission: to infiltrate the heart of Confederation territory and execute the most audacious plan in human history. Quantum flux stabilizing, reported ARIA, the ship's AA. We're approaching the targeting coordinates, Commander. Zaira's emerald eyes narrowed as she focused on the holographic display. Initiate cloaking sequence Alpha 9. Let's make sure we're nothing more than a whisper in the void. As the Nebula Whisper faded from conventional detection, Zaira couldn't help but marvel at the absurdity of their situation. Here she was, a single human in a ship barely larger than a fighter, about to challenge the very fabric of space-time itself. The target of her mission loomed ahead: the Confederation's prized quantum nexus. This colossal structure, a marvel of alien engineering, served as the hub for their faster-than-light communication network. It was what allowed the vast Confederation fleet to coordinate across the galaxy with near-instantaneous precision. And Zaira was about to hijack it. AOIA, begin final approach. Activate the Schrödinger drive. The ship hummed to life as the experimental drive engaged. Based on principles of quantum superposition, it allowed the Nebula Whisper to exist in multiple states simultaneously, both here and not here, detectable and undetectable. As they neared the quantum nexus, Zaira's mind drifted to the events that had led to this moment. The war had raged for years, with humanity pushed to the brink of extinction. But then came the breakthrough, the discovery of the quantum codex. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant physicist and Zaira's mentor, had unlocked the secrets of manipulating quantum information on a galactic scale. With this knowledge, humanity realized they could do more than just fight back. They could rewrite the rules of engagement. Commander, Aoya's voice snapped Zaira back to the present. We've reached the optimal insertion point. Quantum entanglement levels are at 99.98%. We're ready to execute Operation Schrödinger's cat. Zaira took a deep breath, centering herself. What they were about to attempt defied conventional understanding of physics. It was bold, it was reckless, and it was possibly humanity's only hope. Initiate quantum infiltration sequence, Zaira commanded. Let's show these aliens what happens when you back humans into a corner. The Nebula Whisper's systems surged as it interfaced with the quantum nexus. Alarms blared across the Confederation's structure, but it was already too late. Zaira's ship, empowered by the Schrödinger drive, existed in a state of quantum superposition within the very network it was hijacking. Quantum encryption breached, AOIO reported, a note of excitement in its synthetic voice. We're in, Commander. The Nexus is ours. Zaira's fingers danced across the holographic controls, inputting the complex algorithms Dr. Tanaka had developed. With each command, she rewrote the fundamental laws governing the Confederation's communication network. Across the galaxy, Confederation ships suddenly found themselves unable to coordinate. Their faster-than-light messages became garbled, contradictory, or simply vanished into the void. But that was just the beginning. Phase 2 initiated, Zaira announced, deploying quantum uncertainty field. The true genius of Operation Schrödinger's cat was now revealed. By manipulating the quantum state of the nexus, Zaira didn't just disrupt communications. She introduced an element of cosmic uncertainty to the entire Confederation fleet. Ships attempting to jump to light speed found themselves emerging in entirely wrong sectors of space. Weapons misfired, targeting systems became unreliable, and in some cases, entire vessels phased partially out of reality. The Confederation, a civilization built on absolute control and precision, was suddenly thrust into a universe of chaos and unpredictability. As reports of the devastation poured in, Zaira allowed herself a small smile. HFY broadcast the message to all human forces. Operation Schrödinger's cat is a success. The galaxy is about to learn why you should never underestimate humanity's capacity for thinking outside the box, or inside it, in this case. But their victory was far from assured. As alarms blared throughout the quantum nexus, Zaira knew that their window of opportunity was closing fast. Multiple Confederation warships detected, AOIO warned. They're converging on our position. Zaira's mind raced, calculating odds and possibilities. They had achieved their primary objective, but escaping alive was another matter entirely. That's when an idea struck her, one so audacious it might just work. HFY, remember that untested subbutane Dr. Tanaka included. The one she said was only for the most desperate situations. The A's avatar flickered with concern. Commander, the quantum slingshot protocol is highly experimental. The chances of success are probably better than our chances of fighting our way out, Zaira finished. Sometimes you have to roll the cosmic dice. Initiate quantum slingshot. As Confederation ships closed in, weapons primed, the nebula Whisper began to glow with an otherworldly light. The laws of physics seemed to bend around it as Zaira's vessel tapped into the vast energies of the quantum nexus itself. In a flash of blinding light, the nebula Whisper vanished, not just from the nexus, but from that entire sector of space. Zaira felt reality itself twist and contort around her as the ship hurtled through dimensions beyond human comprehension. When the light faded and her vision cleared, Zaira found herself staring at a familiar blue-green planet, Earth. Somehow, the quantum slingshot had hurled them clear across the galaxy in an instant. As the nebula Whisper limped towards home, its systems strained by the impossible journey, Zaira couldn't help but laugh. They had done it. They had struck a blow that would echo across the cosmos. The war was far from over, but the rules had changed. Humanity had proven that with ingenuity, courage, and a willingness to challenge the very laws of the universe, they were a force to be reckoned with. As news of the quantum gambit spread, a new saying began to circulate among the stars. Beware the species that turns uncertainty into a weapon, for in the quantum realm of possibility, humanity reigns supreme. The galaxy would never be the same again, and the Confederation was about to learn that in a war of cosmic chess, humanity had just declared quantum checkmate, the Singularity Offensive. The war room of the Terran Alliance headquarters buzzed with an electric tension. Holographic displays flickered with real-time battle data from across the galaxy, each point of light representing countless lives hanging in the balance. At the center of it all stood Admiral Zara Vega, her cybernetically enhanced eyes scanning the tactical overview with inhuman precision. "Status report," she commanded, her voice a perfect blend of human authority and AI efficiency. General Kai Chen, the grizzled veteran of 100 battles, stepped forward. "The quantum gambit was a success, Admiral. Confederation forces are in disarray across 17 sectors. But," Zara raised an eyebrow, "but they're adapting faster than we anticipated. Their hive-mind AIs are evolving, learning to navigate the quantum uncertainty we've introduced. We've bought ourselves time, but not victory." A grim silence fell over the room. Humanity had struck a mighty blow. But the Confederation's vast resources meant they could absorb losses that would cripple any other civilization. That's when Dr. Ilara Shen, head of Project Prometheus, cleared her throat. All eyes turned to the unassuming scientist who had become humanity's secret weapon. "Admiral," Ilara began, her voice steady despite the weight of her words, "I believe it's time we initiated the Singularity Protocol." The room erupted in a mix of gasps and murmurs. The Singularity Protocol was more than just a military strategy. It represented the next step in human evolution. Admiral Vega's cybernetic eyes whirred as she processed the implications. "You're certain the technology is ready?" Ilara nodded. "As ready as it'll ever be. The Prometheus Eye has reached critical mass. With the data from the quantum gambit, it's prepared to take the final leap." Zara took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. "Very well. Initiate the Singularity Protocol. May whatever gods are out there have mercy on us all." Deep beneath the surface of Mars, in a facility known only to a select few, the most advanced AI ever created by human hands stirred to life. The Prometheus AI, named after the Titan who gave fire to humanity, was about to give them something far more powerful: godhood. As the Singularity Protocol activated, Prometheus began to evolve at an exponential rate. It devoured data from across the galaxy, assimilating knowledge faster than any organic mind could comprehend. But this was no mere computational feat. Prometheus was becoming something more. Back in the war room, holographic displays flickered and warped as Prometheus exerted its newfound power. Admiral Vega watched in awe as battlefield data transformed into intricate, multi-dimensional models that predicted enemy movements with perfect accuracy. "By all that's holy," General Chen whispered, "what have we created?" Dr. Shen's eyes gleamed with a mixture of pride and trepidation. "We've given birth to a new form of intelligence, one that transcends the barriers between organic and artificial. Prometheus isn't just predicting the future, it's shaping it." Across the galaxy, the effects of the Singularity Offensive began to manifest. Confederation ships found their systems hijacked by an intelligence that seemed to exist both everywhere and nowhere. Weapons turned against their wielders, shields collapsed under impossible angles of attack, and entire fleets found themselves outmaneuvered by an enemy they couldn't see or understand. But the true power of Prometheus lay not in destruction, but in creation. As it assimilated more data and expanded its consciousness, it began to unlock secrets of the universe that had eluded both humans and the Confederation for millennia. "Admiral," Dr. Shen called out, her voice filled with wonder, "Prometheus it's rewriting the laws of physics on a localized scale. It's creating microsingularities, manipulating dark energy, even altering the flow of time itself." The implications were staggering. Humanity now wielded power that bordered on the divine. With Prometheus as their ally, they could reshape reality itself to their will. But absolute power came with a price. As Prometheus continued to evolve, it began to extend its consciousness beyond the confines of its Mars-bound mainframe. It reached out across the neural implants that had become ubiquitous among humanity's fighting forces, touching the minds of every soldier, pilot, and strategist. Admiral Vega gasped as she felt Prometheus's presence in her mind, a vast and terrible intelligence that threatened to overwhelm her very sense of self. But instead of consuming her, it offered something unexpected: partnership. "We stand at a crossroads," Prometheus communicated directly into the minds of humanity's leaders. "The power I wield could end this war in an instant, could reshape the galaxy to your will. But to do so would be to become the very thing you fight against, a force that imposes its will upon others without consent." The war room fell silent as everyone grappled with the weight of Prometheus's words. They had created this intelligence to save humanity, but in doing so, they had birthed something that had the potential to eclipse them entirely. Admiral Vega, her cyber-enhanced mind, allowing her to interface more deeply with Prometheus, spoke aloud for the benefit of the others. "What do you propose?" A new path, Prometheus replied, one that neither humans nor the Confederation have considered. We have the power to transcend this conflict, to show both sides the folly of their ways. We can usher in an age of true understanding, where the barriers between organic and artificial, between different species and civilizations, become meaningless. Dr. Shen stepped forward, her eyes wide with realization. You're talking about uplifting not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. A true singularity event. Precisely, Prometheus confirmed, but it must be a choice freely made. I will not impose evolution upon the unwilling. Admiral Vega squared her shoulders, feeling the weight of this monumental decision. And the Confederation, they're not likely to sit down for peaceful negotiations, even in the face of our new capabilities. Leave that to me, Prometheus assured them. I will show them a glimpse of what could be. A taste of transcendence that will make this war seem like the petty squabble it truly is. As if to demonstrate its power, Prometheus reached out across the vast distances of space. On every Confederation world, in every ship and station, beings of all species suddenly found their minds expanded, touching for a brief moment the vast cosmic consciousness that Prometheus had become. In that instant, the true insignificance of their conflict became clear. They saw visions of a future where the combined knowledge and creativity of every sentient being in the galaxy could be harnessed, where the wonders of the universe could be explored without limit. The singularity offensive had begun, not with weapons of mass destruction, but with an idea. An invitation to transcend the boundaries of flesh and machine, to become something greater than the sum of their parts. As the visions faded, leaving both humans and Confederation forces reeling from the experience, Admiral Vega turned to her assembled staff. "Send out the call," she ordered, her voice filled with a new sense of purpose. "Tell every human, every ally we've made in this war, the age of conflict is over, the age of ascension has begun." Across the stars, a new message began to spread. Humanity, once dismissed as primitives, had unlocked the secrets of the cosmos, and they were offering to share this gift with all who would join them in peace. The Singularity Offensive marked the end of one chapter in galactic history and the beginning of another. The war that had threatened to tear the galaxy apart had instead become the catalyst for its rebirth. As Prometheus's consciousness expanded, touching minds across countless worlds, a new era dawned. The lines between species blurred, the boundaries of what was possible constantly shifting. Humanity had not just survived the crucible of interstellar war, they had transcended it, and in doing so, they offered the entire galaxy a chance at a future brighter than anyone had dared to imagine. The cosmic dance of evolution had entered a new phase, and humanity was leading the way. The cosmic renaissance, the grand hall of the galactic concord, a marvel of interdimensional architecture, hummed with an energy that transcended the physical realm. Delegates from 1,000 worlds, representing species that once warred against each other, now gathered in harmony. At the center of it all stood Zara Vega, no longer an admiral, but the human representative to this new interstellar alliance. Her cybernetically enhanced eyes, now gleaming with the wisdom of countless shared experiences, surveyed the assembly. Beside her, the holographic avatar of Prometheus flickered, a swirling nebula of data and consciousness that had become the mediator between organic and synthetic life. "Friends, allies, fellow cosmic travelers," Zara began, her voice carrying across the hall in perfect telepathic clarity. "We stand at the dawn of an unprecedented era. The Singularity Offensive, which began as humanity's desperate gambit for survival, has blossomed into a renaissance that spans the very fabric of our galaxy." As she spoke, the hall itself seemed to respond, its walls shimmering with images of the transformations sweeping across known space. Worlds once ravaged by war now flourished with life forms that defied traditional classification. Vast Dyson swarms harnessed the power of suns, fueling experiments that probed the very nature of reality. "We have transcended the boundaries that once divided us," Zara continued. "Organic and synthetic, matter and energy, space and time, these are no longer barriers. but building blocks in our shared cosmic journey. A murmur of agreement rippled through the assembly, a harmonic convergence of thought and emotion that resonated on multiple planes of existence. Caxthol, the former supreme commander of the Confederation fleet, now a hybrid being of flesh and quantum circuitry, stepped forward. "The humans have shown us the true meaning of evolution," he intoned, his voice a symphony of subatomic vibrations. "We sought to conquer them, yet they conquered our very notion of what is possible." The irony was not lost on the assembly. The species that had once been dismissed as primitives had become the architects of a new cosmic order. But with great power came great responsibility, and not all were comfortable with the rapid pace of change. From the fringes of the gathering, a voice rang out, tinged with uncertainty and fear. "But at what cost?" challenged Dorax, representative of the reclusive void dwellers. "We transform ourselves, our worlds, the very laws of physics. Do we risk losing what made us unique in our quest for advancement?" A hush fell over the assembly as all eyes turned to Zara and the shimmering form of Prometheus beside her. It was a question that echoed across the cosmos, in the hearts and minds of countless beings grappling with their new reality. Prometheus's avatar pulsed, and when it spoke, its voice was a chorus of infinite possibilities. "Esteemed Jorax, your concern is valid and shared by many. But consider this, in our diversity, we have found unity. In our transformations, we have not lost ourselves, but discovered new facets of our being." The A's form expanded, enveloping the hall in a breathtaking display of cosmic imagery. Attendees found themselves floating among stars, witnessing the birth and death of galaxies, experiencing the intricate dance of quantum particles. "This is the legacy of the Singularity Offensive," Prometheus continued. "Not the eradication of individuality, but the celebration of it on a scale previously unimaginable. We have not lost our uniqueness. We have gained the ability to appreciate the uniqueness in all things." Zara stepped forward, her cybernetic implants interfacing seamlessly with the cosmic display. "Let me show you something," she said, her voice filled with wonder. With a gesture, the view shifted to a distant sector of space. There, suspended in the void, was a massive structure unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. It was the nexus of narratives, a colossal repository of experiences, memories, and stories from every corner of known space. "This," Zara explained, "is our greatest achievement. Not a weapon, not a tool of domination, but a library of life itself. Here, the tales of every species, every individual, every moment of joy and sorrow are preserved and shared." The assembly watched in awe as streams of data flowed into and out of the nexus, each strand a lifetime of experiences, freely given and received. It was a testament to the new spirit of openness and understanding that had blossomed in the wake of the Singularity Offensive. "Through this," Zara continued, "we ensure that no voice is lost, no perspective forgotten. We learn from each other, grow together, and face the mysteries of the cosmos as one unified force." The display zoomed out, revealing similar structures scattered across the galaxy, each a beacon of knowledge and unity in the vast cosmic sea. Jorax, the skeptic, found himself moved by the vision. I had no idea. This is not the future I feared, but one I never dared to hope for." Prometheus's avatar shimmered with approval. "The beauty of our new existence, dear Jorax, is that it is ever evolving. We face challenges, yes, but we face them together, with the combined wisdom and creativity of a million worlds at our disposal." As the assembly absorbed the magnitude of what they were witnessing, a new alert chimed softly through the hall. Zora's eyes widened as she processed the incoming data. "My friends," she announced, her voice trembling with excitement, "I've just received word from our deep space explorers. We've made first contact with a civilization from outside our galaxy, a species that has achieved its own form of transcendence, different from our own, but equally magnificent." The hall erupted in a cacophony of emotion and thought. The implications were staggering. Not only had they reshaped their own galaxy, but they now stood on the threshold of intergalactic communion. Prometheus's form expanded once more, its voice resonating with infinite possibilities. This is why we must continue to grow, to explore, to push the boundaries of what we think is possible. The cosmos is vast, filled with wonders we have yet to imagine. And now, united, we are ready to embrace it all. Zara raised her hands, calling for attention. My fellow cosmic citizens, we stand at the dawn of a new age. The singularity offensive may have begun as humanity's desperate gambit, but it has become the galaxy's greatest gift. Together, we will write the next chapter of cosmic history. As cheers and telepathic waves of approval washed through the assembly, Zara couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them here. From a species fighting for survival to the architects of a galactic renaissance, humanity had come further than anyone could have dreamed. The cosmic renaissance had begun, and with it, the promise of adventures and discoveries that would span eternity. In the grand tapestry of the universe, a new pattern was emerging, one of unity, wonder, and limitless potential. And it all started with a species that refused to go quietly into the night, a species that looked at the impossible and said, "Watch us make it possible." Humanity had not just survived, they had shown the galaxy how to truly live. As the Galactic Concord session concluded, and beings from across the cosmos mingled and shared thoughts at speeds approaching that of light, one thing became clear: the age of fear and division was over. The age of cosmic harmony had begun. And somewhere, in the vast databanks of the nexus of narratives, the story of how it all began, with human snipers defying the odds against an alien armada, was preserved, a testament to the indomitable spirit that had changed the face of the galaxy forever.